Well, we've needed a moment or two to compose ourselves as we welcome you back to this amazing venue. It's a great night of boxing, and as we now know, Barry, it remains a very dangerous business after what we've just seen. What a finish. And Leron Miles has left the arena, hopefully in good order, but on the end of a memorable knockout. It's showreel stuff, isn't it, tonight from Masamba?
Incredible. In fact, as you quite rightly pointed out, why has he never won a fight before? It's incredible to think he's never won a fight, comes into this one and delivers an unbelievable punch. You can't tell me he's kept that in his pocket and going around all the other fights he's had.
And you can't tell me that you hope that our viewers on Fox Sports Africa won't be seeing him again, because even before that big finish, he looked a very composed, competent professional, didn't he?
He certainly did. Yeah, got in behind the jab very quickly and then, of course, delivered the right that caused all the damage.
So, on to the second major event here tonight. 12 rounds, and the champion here, the first big WBA Pan-African title was a vacant title tonight, but this is the property of Patrick Mukala. He is the super middleweight title holder, and he intends to retain it tonight against IBRAHIM maokola. I'm choosing my words very carefully because we do need to explain to our viewers that actually maokola cannot win the title tonight, the Tanzanian, because he did not make the weight. So in a sense, in that sense at least, the pressure's somewhat off Mukala.
But it never was on him, in my opinion. He's a very talented boxer. We've seen him about 4 times now. Botswana, I think you were with me when we saw him in Botswana. First time I'd ever seen him fight, part of the Ashley Fareed stable. Very useful. Watched him put a couple of people away in Swaziland. And now here we are back here at Carnival City. This actually is a fight that actually should be in an arena like this. It's a cracker.
So on we go to Brian Mulder for the introductions.
All right, this will be the WBA Pan-African Super Middleweight title, 76.2 kilograms, scheduled for 12 rounds. Let's bring in the challenger first, Tanzania's IBRAHIM Mukala.
And we just run it on them. Run the world, get it in, then you run it on them. Yeah, we running now, we just write down all our goals, then we run it down. Get it. I ain't worried about the money now. I just want my mother living comfy out the country now. Wanna chill sweet success, don't you love the sound? Good vibes, I can never have enough around. Skip. You get that feeling, you should trust it now. Cause there's never too much love around. Then it dawned on us. We should get it till it's gone on us. The world waited so long on us, waiting on it. We can run it 7 billion strong on them. Get it. Do your thing and run.
Well, we're looking for the boxer. Looks like the man from Tanzania is not quite ready to come in. I think probably as shocked and surprised as we were by that knockout.
Well, in 2 senses potentially. In 1 sense, Barry, because it does rather, I wouldn't say destroy the rhythm of a big fighter preparing. You know, when a fight preceding a title fight goes short, they may need to hurry him along slightly. They may have been expecting the preceding fight to go longer, so they may have said, oh, well, you don't need to do your final
just relax,
bits and pieces.
Yeah, just get on your toes normally in the dressing room.
Maybe they'd left it 2 or 3 minutes to warm up, and now they're not going to have to do without that, and we're going to ask them to hurry along.
That's the problem as well, what you just said. You actually end up in a situation where he's not ready to come out. He's not gone through the rhythm, or maybe superstitions that they all go through.
It's never an exact science. Quite a difficult part of the professional game. It's just getting all these timings right. Anyway, he's on his way now.
We should get it till it's gone on us. The world waited so long on us, waiting on us. We can run it 7 billion strong on us. Get it. Do your thing and run the world. You know they chose us, and you know they chose us. Do your thing and run the world. Don't ever slow up, don't you ever get it in. Bet you never worry about your problems again.
He'll be up against the champion from the DRC, fighting out of South Africa, Patrick Mukala. Once again, before we do all the official announcements, let's be upstanding for the national anthem of Tanzania. And now, the national anthem of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Well, we've told you this fight has been sanctioned by and will be fought under the auspices of Boxing South Africa, represented here tonight by their fight supervisor, Archie Yingwa. And of course, we've also got the WBA fight supervisor with us, Gerald Ramsden. So let's introduce the fighters and the officials to you right now. Your judges for this particular bout, Neville Holtz, Sia Vabaza, and Patrick Esthuizen. Your judge and referee is Ben Kapai. So, he comes into this ring having won 12 of his 17 fights, 3 losses, 2 draws. He's wearing the white and purple trunks, weighed in at 76.65 kilograms, all the way from Tanzania, the challenger, IBRAHIM maokola. His opponent, weighed in at 76.1 kilograms. He's wearing the black and silver trunks. 11 contested fights, 10 wins, 1 loss. By way of the DRC, now fighting out of South Africa with... He is the Panther, Patrick Mukala. Boxers.
Boxers, I'm expecting a clean fight. You punch from here to here, not at the back. May the best man win. Shake hands.
Brendan Kapi is the referee for the main event here tonight on Fox Sports Africa, live from the Big Top Arena in Carnival City. The outstanding Patrick Mukala defending his WBA Pan-African Super Middleweight title against IBRAHIM maokola. And may I say in the build-up, maokola has not covered himself in glory, failing to make the weight. He cannot win the title as a consequence. Whatever happens here, Mukala will remain the title holder, but it's all about further building the sparkling reputation of Patrick Mukala, who looks potentially a major star in the making. And may I also say, in quite endearing fashion, I cannot remember the last time a headlining fighter in a big title fight sang the words of his national anthem, and he sang them with gusto here. Even though Barry's actually got, in a sense, dual boxing citizenship nowadays, because although he's obviously very proud of his background in the Democratic Republic of Congo, for professional reasons, South Africa have claimed him.
They did indeed, and Ashley Faria, the ring and boxing club, the Ramberg Boxing Club, which he runs, has got him as a potential world beater. And I tell you what, I've seen him 4 times fight, and every time I've seen him fight, he's certainly covered himself in glory, no doubt about that.
A very high-class operator. An absolute shock, the only defeat on his record against Rhino Liebenberg of South Africa. That was Liebenberg's first win, only for correction, second win in 8. It came from nowhere, didn't it? And I only mention it, Barry, because that is potentially one of the only real issues here for Mukala, that if it's in any way been knocked down in terms of the significance of the fight because of Moyakola's inability to make the weight, that Mukala might think, well, I'm not quite up for it. So, mention that. I mentioned the fact he sang the national anthem with such pride and gusto, but it's just a question mark as to whether his mind was totally focused. I hope he proves me wrong, incidentally.
Yeah, and that fight, of course, he took at short notice. It was not a championship fight, it's only over 10 rounds. And at the end of the day, I think it woke him up, to be honest with you as well. I spoke to Ashley after that fight and said to him, what happened there? And he said, you know what, maybe it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes happens, doesn't it?
Yes, it does,
in careers.
Very much so. But he cannot let it happen again tonight, despite the distractions in the 48 hours before this fight. The 24-hour weigh-in, really farcical from Moyakola's point of view. And we never know every detail of what's gone on in the background to a fight, but when you stand on the scales as the boxer, I'm afraid it is your responsibility. Other people may be to blame, but you have to take responsibility for it.
Especially that weight, overweight, if that makes sense.
What, the better part of 3 kilograms,
really,
wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
that's an enormous amount of weight.
It nearly puts you in another weight level.
Definitely. So Mukala's got to get on with his work. No particular pressure on him in that round anyway, to start out.
No, none at all. And I must admit, I think that's quite one-sided.
Look, he's standing with Ashley Footer with his back to us. I don't want to see him coast his way through this tonight, though, Barry. I want to, you know, for the wider sense of his ranking globally and so on, every fight counts now for this guy, and he's got to put on a big performance every time he goes in there, doesn't he?
He does. In fact, he's already discussing his next fight, and they're wanting a better challenger. The camp have told me that they would like to have a different approach to it. They really want to put him in and make him gruel for his win. Yes. And hopefully then he'll get a WBA ranking, which is, of course, that does help his fighting career.
No doubt about it. But on what I've seen so far in his career, Mukala is well worthy, I would say, of easily a place in the top 20 in the world right now. But he's got to keep on proving it rather than making us look foolish. Nine of his 10 wins inside the distance. Mukala, 12 wins from 19. Has been stopped 3 times. 1 draw in there. Total of 6 losses. P for Patrick, P for Panther, P for power in the punching of this man, the champion. So impressive when we saw him in Gaborone, wasn't he, against Daniel Wanoni? That's such a lovely, sharp, spiteful jab. He's one of these fighters that just creates that little buzz of electricity and excitement when he fights, and it's beginning to be felt around us here, isn't it, as he's warming up here. Don't be fooled by the smile. It's almost like the maniacal grin of an assassin, isn't it? Come on. Getting down to work now, Mukala. Maokola's starting to keep a quite respectful distance, isn't he, after showing willing early on, like a scalded schoolboy, because we've joined a long list of people who've been very critical of his performance before the fight started at the weigh-in and so on. Mukala looking mean and magnificent again here early on. Well, everybody in the hall felt that. That's the right-hander.
10 seconds.
Is there time for a left-hander before the round is out? No, not this time. Mukala strolling it so far.
Yes, it's all one way, isn't it? One-way traffic at the moment. And you know what I like about it is he knows he's got a job of work to do. That's what I like about this fella at the moment, is not going in throwing punches left, right and centre. He's saying, this is how I fight. I fight with a jab and I come in from behind it. And he's doing that even though maybe he feels he might well be able to go in there all guns blazing. He's not doing that. He's actually coming in and fighting the way he would fight if he was genuinely had the world champion in front of him. This is how I would fight, and I think that's a good sign.
Seconds out, round number 3.
So a softening up couple of rounds to open this up tonight from Patrick Mukala against IBRAHIM Maokola. But signs that Mukala is beginning to get into his rhythm. I mentioned the electricity in the air when you start to see a puncher going through the gears, Barry, you know, the way the crowd can pick up on that. But I think there's another element to the aura of this man, and this may appear fanciful. It could even go wrong if something happened in this fight, but just the potential up the road, if I'm allowed to dream, that we could see Mukala in a world title fight in this hall. And maybe that's all we're going to see of him tonight, because Mukala looks reluctant, to say the very least. The cap of the referee's giving him every possible chance. He looked deep into his eyes then. Mukala doesn't fancy this very much, and quite understandably so. This may not go on very much longer. Right hand cannot miss now. Same again. Mukala, almost a token gesture. The Panther is circling his prey now. The shots are coming from everywhere. Mukala goes down again. He doesn't want any more, and that is another outstanding performance from Patrick Mukala. May I say, I consider this man to be a world-class prospect. That was brilliant.
Yeah, once again, we're in a position whereby it was just so dominant. It really was. And we knew, of course, at the end of the day that he would be, I suppose, performing the way he does. he didn't have to go in there launching all guns blazing, as we said earlier. He just literally jabbed his way through to the right. And when the right arrived, it was good night. It really was.
It's good night tonight from Mukala, but maybe only the early morning in his career. He is something very special and a real privilege to be here tonight at the Big Top Arena in Carnival City to see him put on a show like that again. It would have been easy for him to coast, wouldn't it? It would have been easy for him to be distracted by Mukala's frankly pathetic effort to make the weight for this fight, but no. Mean, moody, all business, proper professional.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that left hook, that left jab rather, did all the work, but the right hook did the damage. Yeah,
he has got all the shots, this guy, Barry. Mukala going over, and from that point on, he wanted no more of this.
No, I think he was given another lease on life to come back in to fight again by the referee. He looked at him, as you said, he looked very seriously, very much in his eyes to say, are we okay here? Check him out, make sure. Because, you know, so often, if you're not careful, Paul, man's taken 2 kilos off to get into this ring tonight. And that's an important aspect of it. So you must be very aware from a medical point of view. His safety is all very important. It really is.
Well, what a reception Mukala is getting. The referees brought them together at the centre of the ring, and we'll hear from Brian Mulder now.
Referee 5 stops this fight, 136 in the 3rd round. The winner, and still the WBA super middleweight champion from the Ashley Faree stable, it is the Panther, Mukala!
So that is an 11th professional win and 10 by stoppage. Very quickly, the word is going to go out way beyond South Africa about this fellow.
Yeah, I think he needs now, as you quite rightly say, and you do a lot of boxing around the world, Paul. You rate him, and I rate him very highly. And I must admit, the first time we saw him together in Botswana, I really thought, whoa, this could be something special. And I know that Ashley Faree feels the same way. He said, I said to him, what have you got in your stable, Ashley? And he said, I've got a very promising young man. He said, probably the best young boxer I've ever had in my stable. That was his words to me when I met him, or that would have been, what, way back October last year. And I think it's proven to be the point. It really is.
Outstandingly good tonight. In general terms, I think it's a mistake at world level to try to rush fighters along, but yeah. I have seen enough in him, Barry, to say to you that I don't think there's any reason not to try to rush him along. He's got to get... This could be the most amazing platform for him as well here, couldn't it? With this crowd and this amazing arena, and if he can keep on winning in this fashion, the WBA will not be able to ignore him. Moreover, if they were to be foolish enough to do that, then all they've got to do with him is refocus on one of the other governing bodies. We're not in favour of multiple governing bodies, but actually that is one of the few positive results in the last 20, 30 years in boxing, that if for any reason a ranking organisation chooses to knock a fella back when he deserves better, it's very easy to steer the guy in another direction now. And I know that the IBF, WBC and WBO, to name only 3, would be absolutely delighted if he chose to work under their regime rather than the WBA at the moment.
I can't see the WBA ignoring him. No. I really can't. And I think the next step in his career is to move him into the ranking, to move him through, and then put him in the top 20, let him build up, give him better opponents. And as you said, it's going to be difficult to find him an opponent.
Well, I think on talent, I seriously believe on talent, he's easily a top 20 fighter in the world already. Yeah. I know that sounds, you know, he's only, what, 11 or 12 professional fights after this. That's his 12th professional fight tonight. But everything about him is classy, dangerous, intelligent, and so professional. Yeah. That was not an easy job tonight because of what went on at the weigh-in.
Yeah. You've got to say that he could have rushed that and thought, oh, it's an easy night tonight. Instead of that, he let the jab do the work, followed with the right, jab do the work again and again, and followed with the right. That's a sign of a really, really competent, very professional boxer. And I think he's got good talent. And I think, to be honest with you, as you quite rightly say, he's got a career ahead of him. Maybe we can talk later about this.
Yeah, I think we will be, actually. Yeah, definitely. Two tremendous title fights that we had here tonight. You know, the bantamweight, really classy on both sides, actually. It was a good match, wasn't it? But Majiha, so well organised, you know.
Very much so. Very much so.
Did really, really well.
In fact, I think it's been a good bill. I will be honest with you. I think it's been a really good bill. I think the crowd have enjoyed it. A lot of DRC support for the boxers we've had here tonight, seeing all the boxers fight. I think our man from Malawi did well as well, Lena. I think he did very well indeed. I think all in all, it's been a really good night's boxing.
There's been a lot of good boxing, and there has been an unforgettable knockout.
Yeah.
One-punch knockout finish by Jackson Masamba.
Yeah, very useful. Very useful. It makes you think. And as you said, this is only his first win?
Yeah, amazing.
How did that happen?
I cannot work that out at all. I mean, it never ceases to amaze you in this business. But that, again, Masamba tonight, that is a fighter who I think could, even now, he's 27 years of age. Where has he been? Yeah. But he is 27. That even now, this could be the start of something really big for him. Because he even looked polished before he delivered that.
Yeah, the jab got working.
Unanswerable knockout.
Very good. Yeah.
Really wonderful from him. It's been a joy tonight. Thank you, Barry.
Paul. Lovely seeing you, as always.
Lovely short notice to get this opportunity tonight, but a real privilege to be here in the Big Top Arena here in Carnival City, where we so well remember Lennox Lewis losing everything years ago in one of the great sensations of boxing. It's been overdue, a big night of boxing here, but it's back here, and at the top of the bill, a man worthy of it. Thank you most of all to everybody watching at home on Fox Sports Africa tonight. We'll see you again, but this was something to remember and to savour. And from Barry and myself, thank you for your company and good night.
Good night.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank